Smoke weed every day.
Man, hey, y'all gotta forgive me. Players fuck up, you know. I'm trying to get everything in order. But welcome to the Kush Den, man. If you're not familiar with the Kush Den is a 420 friendly conversation and community. You know, hey, even if you don't smoke, pour yourself up a nice adult beverage. If you don't drink, pour yourself a nice warm glass of milk. And you know, sit back, relax, and hop in the chat, man. Yeah, for those that there's still some issues with the Soft Sports Studios. Those things have not been taken care of. Hopefully they get done soon, as prompt as possible, because it's definitely awkward. Definitely got some stuff thrown off. But today there was no sauce because I had an appointment and I didn't realize it was at the same time as the game. So yeah, I thought it was a later game. Had it been a later game, you know, everything would have been fine and dandy and on point. But because it was a 3 o'clock game, we missed the sauce. But shout out to Mr. Man Up. Got Mr. Man Up joining us this evening. We're gonna splash a little bit of, you know, we're gonna burn a little bit of smoke in the Kush Den, even though we smoke free, you know. But we still gonna blow some smoke. We're gonna talk some shit. Manny Petty, nah, it ain't happening. Even though somebody recommended, a good friend of mine recommended, she said, man, have you ever gotten a pedicure? Like, nah, I'm okay on that one. But you know, we just gonna talk about some things. We're gonna talk about, you know, going Dutch. We're gonna talk about just whatever comes to mind. There's plenty of topics. It's definitely a very interesting thing I came across on Twitter today that I'm gonna want to talk about. But first and foremost, man, how you doing this evening, Mr. Man Up?
How you doing this evening?
Man,
No, it's kind of late.
I'm doing good. I'm trying to figure out. Y'all let me know how that sounds on y'all's end. Like, I don't know if I've done something to kind of, I want to make sure the sound comes out right, because when I do it, for some reason, it sounds like I got some robot action, but it sounds clear when I don't have that on. So maybe it's just something that I'm listening to. Maybe it's just on my end. Y'all are getting a robot voice? Okay. See, that's strange, because when I don't have this clicked, you know, when I have the audio off, it's not giving me that. I wonder what that could be. Yeah, look, we didn't turn him into an android. Let me figure it out. Let me set you free. Let me figure out what we got going on here. Got you on the iRobot action. Let's see what we can fix on this end. Yeah, I'm trying to, I don't know why exactly it starts doing that. Like I say, normally, no problem, no issue right here. I wonder if it's the way, you know what? I know what it might be. Okay, y'all give me just a second as I tweak with some things. So let me navigate in the background here. But we're going to talk about a few things. So while I'm getting this here and try to work on this sound real quick, I'm going to tell y'all a story about I read today. And it doesn't have anything doesn't really have anything to do with going Dutch, but before we get into that topic, it does have to do with splitting the bill. Man, yeah, we can get to some PUBG after this, even though you never answered my response for PUBG, Cushington. But this thing I read today was about a guy, and it was actually a post from a chick, and it was a long post. I mean, I believe it was a guy on Twitter shared it, and he said that he's in like and I want to be a part of this group, because apparently you can find it on Facebook. I'm gonna go look and see. I don't get on Facebook very much anymore, but basically there's a wedding shamers. I guess everything's the same. A wedding shamers group. Oh no, man! Y'all see that? What? Look at that, man! Look at that super saucy mug, man! I was down in the little thing. I say, man, look at that, boy! That's a nice mug, man. Everybody should get him one of the.
That's why I'm acting like
yeah, man, I appreciate that love. I appreciate that support, man. Shout out to Man Up for holding it down, man. That's what's happening. That's what's happening. That made my evening. Oh, you got to do, but you got to put it on display. But man, so what happened? Apparently, there's this wedding shamers group, and so the lady, I guess, was posting about the wedding she was supposed to have, and I guess a couple of days, maybe about 4 days before it was supposed to go down, her and the husband end up breaking up. And the reason why is she goes into detail in the story. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I'm going to paraphrase. It was rather long. But anyway, story goes that her and her husband had met in high school about the age of 14 or 15, and they worked together, were hard working. They worked on a farm together from young, and saved up money. And I think they had saved up about $5,000, or he saved up about $5,000 working to buy her a ring when he was, I want to say maybe 18 or so. I might be kind of off with the ages, but he saved up money all through high school, bought her a ring, about a $5,000 ring, which, we'll get into some of those other things here in a bit. But she talks about how, they decided they were going to plan a wedding. And, they had both been working. They kept working a little bit through college, and they ended up having a kid. I think I want to say they were like early 20s. And I'm doing this here. And after having the kid, they had about $15,000 saved up for a wedding. Well, she apparently wanted to have a different type of wedding. And let's see where we at. Make sure I got this thing looking right, because I've got a little bit of everything going on. And I'm looking for a specific window, but for some reason it ain't give me what I want. Maybe because I have this. Give me 1 second here. But and so anyway, she figured out, they calculated the wedding that they wanted was going to cost about $60,000, and really didn't have that kind of cash. So they decided, instead of wedding gifts, she started telling her friends and family to basically send money. And she was requesting $1,500 per person, and basically said that anybody who wasn't donating $1,500 wasn't getting an invite, for the most part. Had a friend who I think donated, who was going to give her $8,000. A couple of friends and family members, even though her fiance they were going to donate $3,000. And anyway, but if you'd have seen how she posted this thing, how she basically addressed this whole deal, she made these people seem like they were shit because they didn't want to donate to her dream wedding. She mentioned the Kardashians and all this stuff. So honestly, like, a long story short, is this woman had become so obsessed with social media and all this other stuff, seeing all these other people doing these things, that she felt like she just deserved my one day of being a Kardashian, which is, I guess that's the standard, or whatever the hell you want to call it. But she got upset with these people and said, well, she said, fuck it, she's no longer friends with anybody. They're all cunts, and she's going to cancel her relationships, and she's going to go backpacking for 2 months. I forgot where she said she was going to go, but, good luck to her on that. But it was just a whole clusterfuck. Yeah, she came from a farm to this. That's why y'all be careful if y'all in that DPG gang with Heidi. She gonna yamp y'all up and then want a $60,000 wedding. But it was just a whole crazy ordeal, and I was like, wow, that people could really, I'm not sure what's going on back here. I have to tweak with it another time. We'll stick with what we got. But I ain't gonna do that. I redid the intro on y'all. Y'all only get one intro. Don't work twice. There you go. But and so basically, like I said, she was out there. Take studio mode off too. And she was out there, and the guy was just kind of saying, or her sister, I don't know, whoever followed up the post, and they were just saying, like, man, she used to be a real hard working girl, and she was really a good person, but then she just started, ever since she started following the Kardashians and seeing all this social media stuff, she started wanting to try to be fancy, even though she was really outside of her means. She tried to buy expensive purses and be trying to rub them in people's faces. And, and honestly, the purse that she was talking about, $300 or $400 purse. That's expensive in a sense, but, there are definitely purses and things out there that cost way more than that. So to really be trying to flaunt that is low level stunting, I guess you would say. But just a bunch of bullshit. And so anyway, that attitude ended up basically losing her all of her friends. a lot of family, losing her relationship. But unfortunately, this guy's going. I feel like she's going to end up cannoning him for a bunch of child support. But maybe he can kind of come up with a good idea if she's willing to abandon the child and go backpacking alone for 2 months. Maybe he could use that in some type of court case to see that she's not a responsible mother, that she's putting all these other things before her own child, and hopefully he can keep the kid and not have to deal with the shenanigans, because a person like that is not somebody who needs to be raising a child and instilling that kind of mind state in them. So so my thing is that, hey bro, you gonna share? Okay, yes, I share. But it's just it blew my mind. Like I say, one day I might sit down and actually read the whole story, because it's quite long, and the way she just sounded so fucking entitled. Sure, you've worked hard. Social media calls you flaws. Yeah, I saw that. I just saw that as I was trying to post up the things. I was still running behind. I meant to comment on that, but my phone does crazy stuff with comments sometimes. So sometimes it takes me a little bit of time to get to that. But let's talk about going Dutch. My fault, and let's get into that. So what had that on your mind, Mr. Man Up?
After the last stream, I got to relax, laying in bed, and thinking about my thoughts. And I was just thinking about, how me and my wife, our first date, she paid. Second date, she paid. Third date, I paid. Stuff like that. And I just started thinking, I said, I don't know, it just popped in my head. What is the problem with a lot of women wanting to go Dutch? Now, I'm not saying that something is wrong or not wrong with it, but since I know we got Heidi in the chat, maybe Heidi can answer that for just she's a female. What is the issue with going Dutch? Because it seems like a lot of women don't like the fact that they have to come out of pocket. It's like, I don't understand it. Maybe I'm a guy, I don't see it from a woman's point of view, and I probably won't ever see it from a woman's point of view. But I'm just curious on why that is an issue. Now, it wasn't really an issue for my wife, because like I said, she paid on her. And then I was like, okay, you know what? I wonder what, I see Heidi said that's just normal to her. Well, but I see that too. A lot of women don't like, they think that the man's cheap and they don't want to be with him. So, Kenneth Cole said you can't hear me clearly. Suck it. Okay. J Bird said Man Up is a robot. Uh-oh. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I'm still catching this robotic sound here. I don't know why it is. 'Cause like I say, now if I mute you and you're talking, it sounds normal. But when I bring your sound on, it sounds a little thrown off. Let me try one other little thing real quick. I'm gonna take you off screen for just a second, and then I'm gonna bring you right back. So y'all give me just one moment, because we want the real Man Up. We're gonna try to avoid the Robo Man Up. We're gonna try to give y'all the real deal. Hold on one second. Let's figure this whole thing out. I'll kind of comment on that while we're trying to get this worked out. And I can agree with you. I think again, you have this mentality, and I think that a woman who is worth her salt has no issue with that, because a relationship should be, give and take. In this day and age, you talk about 50-50. That, as far as, I don't know, I think it should be 100-100, because you should be giving all you got and she should be giving, all she has. But that 50-50 sounds good for some reason. I'm only give you half of me, and you give half of you, we'll be okay. But there's nothing wrong with splitting anything. I don't see a problem with it. Sometimes you own, sometimes she own, sometimes, hey, you might be having a good day, might have, had a better day than usual, and you want to do something nice. I think, what I find funny is the ones who always want to go out but don't ever want to bring anything to the table as far as, hey, let's go here and let's go there, let's do this and let's do that. Oh, but you're going to pay, right? But like, hold on. You the one that said you wanted to do all this and do all of that, but yet you expect someone else to shoulder your burden. That's where I kind of find the issue with that mentality. Like I said, I don't think there's anything wrong with going Dutch, especially in this day and age. Let's try this. This might be trying to figure out what the problem is here. I mean, we just having some technical difficulties. Let's see if this works. And no, that's not it. But again, like I say, let me give me 1 second. I'm gonna bring you back in here and just say we might have to. Let's see if maybe it'll go back normally. Let's see. Let me see here. Oh no, not like that. That's definitely not what you want to see. That ain't what you want. Y'all can see, yes, there's definitely some slight difficulty. We're gonna get it right. We're gonna remove the robot and we're gonna get it right. Let's go with this here. Good grief. Okay, let's make it a little bit more. Look, now we done shrunk him. Y'all gotta give me just a second. Yeah, look, play his fuck up. We're gonna get it all right. And I think we somewhat gravy here. We semi Gucci. Let's try this here. But I think, let me make sure your audio's back in play. Now let's try it again. See if your audio's back in play. If that changed anything. Yeah, I think it should be good.
Early, I don't know. I'm trying to see if y'all can hear me. I saw Heidi comments earlier, but man, keep going Dutch. You're gonna have to tickle those nuts. Heidi's so silly. I learned over time to not get caught up with Heidi.
Yeah, I put you in a bad spot. Yeah, I'm still catching the robot. I don't know what it is that is causing that. I have no idea. Let's see. But what we will do is try to fix some of this.
Smoke weed every day.
All right, Lightning McQueen. That's funny.
My daughter like that.
Yeah, I've heard of. I've never seen Car. Man, like I said, I was just telling you earlier. I just saw. I just finally watched. What is that? Infinity War for the first time. That Avengers. It was actually a little bit better than I thought. You know, I was rooting for old Thanos. So hey, I ain't even mad. I like it when the bad guy wins on occasion. You know, hey, the good guys always win. That's what you always expect. It gets a little tired sometimes. I have no idea what is causing this thing to.
I ain't even going off right now. She spent $200 for sushi in about what the hell?
Hold on. See the. All right, let's see. Let me catch up and see what's up. It's coined after Dutch people who are very cheap. Okay. What's wrong with Dutch people? I thought Dutch people had the clog shoes. Is that why they cheap? Because they make the clog shoes out of wood and shit. And instead of buying some Nikes, even though it's probably cheaper to make fucking Nikes than the damn clog shoes. Nick Rose is just a spot until the other guy gets back healthy. Nick Rose is not going to be a permanent fixture on this Texans team. And you notice that he always misses everything wide right. That's the thing that kills me. It's always wide right with that dude. But as you were saying, you know, about splitting the bill, about going Dutch, about about like, you know, how you and your current wife now, how she almost threatened you, and I think that's kind of where we kind of cut out from there. But you kind of want to expand on that a little bit and how you were saying.
Yeah, I was saying that, you know, my wife, you know, when we went out on our first, second, third date, you know, she was like, "Oh, I got this." You know, it wasn't I don't think it was trying to impress me or nothing like that. It was more just the fact of saying, "Look, we're gonna be in this together. You know, I got you, you got me, we got each other. Bam, that's how it's gonna go." And to answer Heidi's question, well, it wasn't a question, but a comment. She said, uh, something about, God, I can't find it now, but she said something about, oh, if a guy's face there is sex pressure, that depends on the dude.
Yeah.
You know, that depends on that guy. Yeah. Some guys would use that to his advantage to get some sex, but I don't. I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't at all. Now, I'm not saying I'm cheap. I'm not saying nothing's wrong with. Well, I am cheap, I ain't gonna lie, but and I have to be. But I'm not saying that there's nothing wrong with going Dutch or not going Dutch or anything like that. Going Dutch or not going Dutch. Excuse me. But the thing is, and I was just curious, is that a lot of women don't like it when they have to come out of their own pocket, and especially when they're the ones eating too. Mm-hmm. I was taught that too about one of my uncles growing up. That if you have to keep coming out of your pocket, and he's like, "Isn't she eating too?" I say, "Yeah." Y'all go to the movie, and she watching it too. Yeah. Why can't she pay sometimes? It's like, things like that. And I'm like, you make a good point, but I also like I agree with you what you said earlier. I was listening to while you're trying to get everything situated. Yeah, it's supposed to be more than 100%, but I mean more than 50% supposed to be 100% from everybody. But at the same time, a lot of people don't do that. They just more. You got a lot of people in relationships today that are just about them. I see you getting a bunch of subscribers there.
Oh, I feel like it's all the same person. But I don't know, because you gotta, like, I honestly, like, it could be somebody from the South, but just I always just assume that it's Jay Bird, because he got like 1.5 million names. So I just automatically assume that any new subscriber I get, I don't care if they came from the South, if they knew, even if they type completely differently, I just always assume it's Jay Bird. Like, I assume that Heidi is Jay Bird, because Jay Bird has like 1.5 million accounts. So I just believe that everybody is Jay Bird. So, but I appreciate if you are a new subscriber and you're not Jay Bird, I appreciate you from subscribing to the Kush Den. But I automatically assume that everybody is Jay Bird. Jay Bird 335, yes.
But I forgot what I was saying that. But no, it was just a curious thing on why is that such a problem. Now I got lucky and it wasn't a problem for my wife. It was, I got lucky, so I'm blessed with that. But I've seen that even with some of my sisters, they get offended. They feel like they gotta come out their pocket. I don't want to never date him. He's so cheap. It's like, well, I mean, everybody has their preference with their life. Well, I'm not knocking, but I just find that strange. I'm like, don't you eat? Go to movies. Don't you enjoy whatever that y'all doing? How come you can't come out of your pocket and treat him for a change? I know we'll put in our heads as men that we're supposed to provide, but then there's also as grown up around but women, I've seen it well put in their head that they're supposed to be the backbone of the man. Supposed to be on the side. So whenever things get a little tough, bam, I got your back, things like that. But I just don't get that. I love my people, and that it's just black women. Okay, I wonder what Joshua mean by that. but yeah, I'm just curious about that. Why is that an issue? I said she's okay with that. One of the things in the chat that might have a problem with it, or that don't have a problem with it, get their opinion on that.
Okay.
What everybody think.
Yeah, man, but I think I do agree. Like, it could be a way, because like I say, I say a lot of the problems that we have here in America, and it's funny because I look at that little chick and I'm thinking about that is, it's always the happily ever after mentality, the princess mentality, the, somebody's going to swoop in, take you off your feet and just, you're never going to have to do anything. Some of it I think may still be the old, hey, I work, you cook and clean type mentality. But like something that was mentioned is like how Heidi was talking about, everybody works nowadays. Everybody is not just men. It's, women work, so women probably more likely to have a job than a man is at some point, and I'm sure some demographics. But the thing about it is, again, if you make profit, then contribute to the situation. We're all going to enjoy the same situation. Then, why not? Hey, sometimes I got it. I'm doing good. Hey, cool. Let's go do something. You got it. Like I said, you doing good. Hey, I might be a couple of days till I get paid or whatever it is, but you still want to go do something, but it'll be the same one. Like I say, that'll be sitting in the house or you try to kick it and do something cheap, hey, look, we can watch a movie. We can, cook some food or do something. Oh, I want to go out because I'm bored and this and this, and then okay, well, you're not volunteering to pay for anything, but you want to go out all the time. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you ain't lying. Advice of the library is the lick. It costs about $1 to get your library card renewed if it's been expired. You know what I'm saying? And you got all the knowledge in the world right there in one place. Get you a couple of books. That's what you do. Take a broad to the library, see what books she come out with. That's how you know if their relationship gonna work. Yeah. Oh man, Heidi, we go. I gotta change the subject for just a second because last night, or was it last? I don't even know if we had a dinner last night or if it was the other night. This week has just been, especially since everything been messed up, stuff been out of the normal soft sports studio. Everything is just thrown off. Like the setup right now is thrown off. Everything is thrown off. The stream may look somewhat normal, but everything behind the scenes is thrown off right now. So it's just, I guess it's awkward for me looking outwards, but hopefully everything is appearing for the most part the same. Heidi sent me a link yesterday, and this has nothing to do with going Dutch. Okay. Nothing to do with going Dutch. And then we go come back and talk about that library. Because she said something about Saudi Arabia, and I'm working backwards with this story. Saudi Arabia, that's cool. But she sent me a video about Colombia. And I want to talk about cultural norms for a second. I'm actually not hot. I'm in the AC. I'm good. It's the lights because of the way they're set up. Because like normally in the soft sports studios, I have them high and they're hanging. But like up here, I have them. They're like basically on chairs because I don't want to put fucking screws. Fucking them hooks in the ceiling and have them hanging down. So they're like more at eye level and they're super shiny. I'm shiny up here. Look, I got a little shine, a little grease and shit. But the donkeys of Colombia. Oh man, there's some issues going on in Colombia. But again, when it's a social norm, they don't look at it as a particular thing. Basically, it's normal for a guy once he hits puberty to have an affair with a donkey. And like I thought it was just a joke. I thought it was like, oh, okay, it's a thing. And when, you've heard of the Mexico donkey sex shows and stuff like that. But no, it's a thing for guys to go out and fornicate with donkeys. Little kids calling donkeys their girlfriends. Oh, I got a bunch of girlfriends. You mean donkeys? Like 14-year-olds, they bragging about how many donkeys they done slept with. It was a guy who's married to a woman, but talks about how he gets aroused. He was a cab driver, and I'm gonna have to get the link and put it in the chat. But it's on my phone, so I'm gonna have to save it and put it in the chat. Yeah, but it was. Yeah, one dude that dude, and he bragged about it. Like, how a man would be like, man, shit, I knocked off over 100 broads. You know what I'm saying? This dude was like, I've had sex with at least 100 different donkeys. Like, I was like, wow. Like, that's not something you tell. And then he basically fornicated with the donkey on camera. He like set everything up, took the donkey all behind the tree. Like, hold on, I'll tell you when I'm ready. It was a Vice episode, so it wasn't just like crazy donkey porn. But it was, the dude was describing the donkeys in a manner in which I would describe a woman. Talk about the donkey had a big butt. You know what I'm saying? Talk about how he spread the donkey cheeks and all this other stuff. You talk about he was driving. Just saw a random donkey on the side of the road. Went raw dog in the donkey. But the thing is, he was like, I didn't even wear a condom. It's like, I'm like, hold on, man. And it blew my mind to even think about this. That guys are pulling up on random donkeys just like you run up on a random hoe. or motherfuckers are out here paying these bitches like just like motherfuckers sliding up and down this and that, but they pulling up on donkeys and just and fucking, and I mean having their way with the donkeys, man. And it's just, I thought, excuse me, pardon me. And I was like, wow, what is really going? And the donkey looks so damn bored. Donkey over there eating on some shit just while it's the dude having his way with the dog. I watched this, and you're probably like, well, how did you get to Saudi Arabia from this? Because after I watched this video, the little Vice video, and the guy who did the video, he was noticeably disturbed. But the thing about it is, the guy who watched it, he went to like a sex therapist. She talked about the difference between bestiality and zoophilia. And bestiality, basically said, is like using an animal for masturbation. And zoophilia is when you're actually attracted to the animals. And that's what that dude was going through, because he, even though he had a wife and she didn't caught him. How does it feel as a woman to know that your husband is cheating on you with a fucking pack mule, a fucking donkey? Like, that has to do something for yourself, dude. But the women that they interviewed were just like, oh yeah, it's a common thing, almost like they just expect it to have happened, you know. And I was like, wow, that shit is crazy. But the reason why I said this, and this is the whole point of the story that I shared about the donkeys, is that video was a part of a playlist, and the next video in that playlist was titled "The Camels of Saudi Arabia," and it had a woman with a camel in the thumbnail. I'm like, oh my God, please tell me this ain't what I think it is. But fortunately, it had nothing to do with people having sex with donkeys. They were just talking about very nice camels, and the camels are actually very fancy camels. They were just talking about fucking the camel races. We'll talk about that in a bit, but that shit was dope. But of course, that has nothing to do with going Dutch. If you go Dutch with a donkey, you got a whole different other level of problems. First, how does a donkey get money to pay? I mean, are they getting paid? Is donkey prostitution a thing? I don't know. But yeah, it was just, I had to tell this story because it was on my mind that I thought about that. I thought I'd share that little nugget of information with y'all. It was very, very life-changing, if you will. It was just, I don't know what to think about society. No, I can't blame society, because that has nothing to do with American culture. Again, it's that it's a Colombian thing, and I guess like how we're talking about American culture with women and how a lot of women who feel like they should never have to pay. Again, you say you have a lot of women who feel like they should be treated like princesses and they should reap all the benefits but never have to contribute, you know. I don't think that's a thing, because I don't know if it's a problem, but if you're willing to do all the other stuff, and I mean, like I say, especially, I think it's a bad look when it's just in those early stages of dating, you know, not necessarily when you've reached the level of, okay, we're together, and I think that's a different category, you know. But if you're dating and you're kind of introducing yourself to somebody and you're coming off in that manner, I think it's a bad look for a lot of women. But I don't know. I guess, you know, it's just it's a belief that a lot of women carry. So, I mean,
well, I'm not gonna say it looks bad on her.
Yeah.
I just think it don't look too good, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
And what I mean by it don't look too bad on her is this: with guys these days, I can understand how some women want to try to be sure about something. I get it. Don't get me wrong. I get it, and I understand it. These days, guys are getting feminine, and women are getting masculine. You know, they're just working. And before Heidi say anything, no, I'm not going to bash women. I'm just saying basically what it is these days. But I noticed that, and so that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. Don't get me wrong. But it can be a bad thing if it keeps happening over and over and over. You know what I'm saying? To where, I think that was Joe Osteen that said, if you're in a relationship where you just keep giving and giving and never receive, that's an unhealthy relationship.
Yeah.
And that's true.
Yeah.
That's unhealthy. You know, well, both sides actually, because you don't want to come back and just think that, damn, man, we can't go out to eat. I got no money in my pocket. Like she's sitting here full of bankroll, you know what I'm saying? I'm not that big, and they don't want to do anything. So that's the reason why I'm wondering: is that a bad thing? Is it a problem? Is it not? You know, whatever. You know, so that's the reason why I was curious about that. And some guys don't mind doing it. I don't know why, but some guys don't mind. Some guys are okay with
smoke weed every day,
paying all the time. Some women, like I saw Heidi had a comment earlier. She said she would feel guilty, and some women feel that way too. So it just, you know, it was just a question in my head. You know what I'm saying? Is that an issue? Is it not? Why is it an issue? Why is it not? Things like that. You know, it works both ways, if that makes sense to you.
Yeah.
Long story short, it works both ways. You know what I'm saying? Is it an issue and why? Is it not an issue and why? You know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why I was just curious about that. If that makes sense to
you. Okay. Jay Bird, if you ask me why we're talking about sex with donkeys, because it was a video that was referred. I tell y'all that I try to watch the stuff that y'all recommend when I have an opportunity. I'll check it out, and that was definitely something I watched, and my life will never be the same. Like I didn't think that was thing. And I agree with you on that, Heidi. Like, I mean, I think it's better with that give and take. I think that builds a better bond. You know, you buy a round, I buy a round. You buy lunch, I'll buy dinner. You know, vice versa, whatever it may be, however it goes. I think that's a method that can build a stronger bond. I think that's something that can strengthen, especially initially in a relationship. But I agree with you what you said. You know, that it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's not necessarily a good thing either. And again, also part of it is, you know, how you view stuff, you know, how your own personal personality. I mean, some people, hey, if you ball it out of control and it's not a thing, then you just like, hey, you know what? You know, I don't mind. It ain't shit to me. Keep your money. You know what I'm saying? Some people are like that. Some people just like, hey, you know what? I want a treat. It makes me feel better. Some people have their self-esteem. You know, they have their pride tied into paying. Some people, like I saw Broderick talking about earlier, man, yeah, sometimes you got to start off cheap. And if she has an issue with what you're doing or feeling like you too cheap, and she has these high standards and demands, or vice versa, however it may work out, then, you know, that lets you know what the future holds, because how you start out is you know, basically the foot in the door. It will only expand from there. So if you start out on some, you know, caving into these demands that she has, and they could be quite ridiculous, expect it to get worse, and expect it to get worse much more rapidly. Saw another thing today. boy, about a dude. I don't know how it's gonna look. I had a lot of time on my hands while I was waiting on getting some things done, and I don't even know how I found this. It was a girl talking about, oh, thank you to this guy. And honestly, you could tell the guy likes her, but basically bought her flowers, took her out to eat, took her horseback riding, I think to the movies. I mean, just went all out and says, you know, hey, thank you for showing me how a guy should treat me. You're such a good friend. I mean, made sure she capitalized. Look, she showed all the stuff on Instagram that she was doing. She showed all the goods and things that she received. You're such a good friend, but made sure she kept him in the friend zone. And then was like, still single though, was part of the hashtag. So like, all this stuff that this man just did for you, and the least you could do was either not put that out there, just go on a date and enjoy getting treated. Exactly. He should have bought a Soft Sports mug to let him know how he really felt. This man treated you with all this, and then you embarrass him by leaving the hashtag still single though, because any and everybody knows what, you know, his goal was to accomplish. And that's why you tell a lot of guys, man, hey, look, fiscal, spending money, all that type of shit, that's not going to guarantee you anything.
Smoke weed every day.
That's just go, ensure that she has a good time. And if she don't like you, it don't matter what you buy. It don't matter what you come out of. Either she will exploit you for what she can get up out of you and then carry on and go enjoy herself with the next man, or she gonna let you know that you in the friend zone, that's all it's ever gonna be, or she just not gonna be interested in you. And so again, like I say, that's why I think, a lot of guys who feel like, well, I got to pay for everything, do everything, that a lot of these guys end up very upset and unhappy with the majority of their relationships. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's very unfortunate.
Oh, my bad. That's what I'm finna get next. I was finna say, even if it's a woman, she's gonna feel like there's a lot of pressure on her, and him. It depends on who's paying on time. Mm-hmm. Even in a marriage, that person is gonna feel like the pressure's on them to keep this going, and they're not gonna be happy on the inside. They might put on their face, their front, that they're happy. Mm-hmm. They might tell you that they're okay, but unless you truly know that person, you should know. Excuse me, I'm sorry, man. Talking about cookie system, I said eating a man up cookies. but that person would know that. That person's not going to be happy truly, because they're going to feel like there's pressure on them. And yeah, like you said earlier, a lot of guys would do this thing to try to get in a relationship with a woman or try to get in a woman's pants. Either way. And then it might not work out in their favor. And that's the problem. That's another thing I want to get into. Like, especially for guys. I can't really speak on this for women because I'm not a woman. No. If a woman pays a lot, what is she trying to gain out of it herself? I don't know, so I can't speak on that. But I'm a guy, and I can kind of speak on what guys, trying to do, I guess you could say. Yeah. But with guys, I know that a lot of guys are looking for sex. If they do this, they think, shit, I'm a big baller, and shit, I'm going to throw some money her way, pay some bills, take out these bodies, and that. They're going to start thinking, shit, pretty soon I'm finna get in them draws. Mm-hmm. And that might not be the case, if that makes sense to you. They might not be. So, and then he'll end up getting frustrated. Mm-hmm. Man up, I love you saying some Travis Scott lyrics. I'm not a big Travis Scott fan. I know he's from Houston too, but I'm not a big Travis Scott fan, so I can't say Travis Scott. But and that's another thing that I try to explain to people too. I used to try to tell a friend of mine, I had to stop being for cool with him because I don't know about dating out like that myself. I had to let him go. I tried to tell him, man, stop spending all your own money, because he would work all week, get a paycheck, go to the club, see some women, be buying drinks for girls and stuff like that, thinking he finna, get with them and stuff like that. I used to tell him, man, stop doing that.
Yep.
Man up, do a personal wallet. Oh, come on now. But I would tell him, man, don't do that, because you're going to end up getting the wrong girl, and she's going to milk you because she knows how to. She's going to milk you for all you got, and you're going to be sitting there looking depressed and sad and pitiful because you ain't getting what you want.
Exactly.
I can't really say, when women do that, what is a woman looking for? She might just be looking to have a good man on the side. Well, I don't know. But, because I can only speak on it from a guy's point of view, because I'm a guy. So, just want to put that out there. I don't want anybody thinking I'm bashing women or nothing like that, because I'm not. I'm just speaking that you shouldn't do this thing. You should say, okay, like how they say, I buy, you buy, I buy, you buy, I buy, you buy, back and forth. That's how it goes. You know what I'm saying? Or put like this here: if your woman's cooking all the time, and guys out there, if your woman's cooking all the time at the house, take her out to eat.
Yeah.
Take her to the movie, things like that. Whatever. Things like that. Don't make it even some kind of which way. Or you stop it and say, no, you better cook. Something. Whatever. Make it even. Like how they say, I buy, you buy, back and forth. That's just how it goes. So that's the reason why I say, you don't feel emasculated when a woman takes a check. How did I answer your question? I'm going to tell you like this. No, I don't. And I'm going to explain to you why I don't. But before I do, I want to ask you this because I see a lot of people typing this in the chat all the time. What do CS mean?
It's one of the little abbreviations, one of the little questions that come up when it says, "What is the abbreviation of Counter Strike?" And it's just CS is the answer to. I guess it's supposed to give them some points.
Oh, okay. I say that all the time. Like, yeah. But okay. But anyway, I don't feel emasculated, honey. Why? Because I know that if my woman does something for me, I have her back. I'm gonna do something for her. Like for example, Honcho, like I told you before we came on live right now. I was on shopping with the family, and my wife, and I told you all the time, I got lucky with the woman I got. I got real lucky. She takes real good care of me. And you know what I did? I went and bought her a diamond necklace today.
Oh, word?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, so because I know and I know you should see that big old ring I just bought her too. But I know that she takes care of me. She has my back. I'm going to do the same for her. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. Balls go into your throat when a woman picks up toilet paper. I'm not going to go there today. But yeah, I'm just saying though, it's also other ways. And I'm not talking nothing sexual or nothing like that. I'm not talking nothing like that at all. I'm talking about when you feel like someone is doing a lot, try to figure out some other ways to make that person happy. It's not always just paying the bill or whatever, picking up the tab or whatever. You know, do something different. You know what I mean? So I'm just that's the reason why I say it can be a bad thing and not be a good thing at the same time. So it just all depends on the person, what their mind frame is, and how far it might go. Oh no, how it's gonna do.
Yeah. I gave you power, but it feeling left out. He said you didn't read everybody's comments, but he is. No, you want to say that Astro? You going to say that Astro World shit, that Travis Scott shit? But man, I can agree with that. I can agree with that. But no, like I said, that don't mean nothing to me. Like I said, if that's what she chooses to do, if she in that, look. Hey, guys like being treated nice from time to time too. Hey, we got feelings too. We human beings too, man. You know, hey, like nice things too, man. But my thing is, it's all Gucci. Like I say again, as long as it's being reciprocated, you know, in one fashion or another, it's about doing for each other. It's about doing for, you know, you're the person that you fucking with. But again, if it's just some old fuck action, if it's just some shit where, again, like you say, you know, you had the homeboy who trying to go out there and pay to play, you know, I think you're putting yourself in a real bad position and you're setting a bad standard because you're going to make people feel like, or whoever it is that you interact with, feel like that's how you come across and that's what they're going to expect from you. And then don't let something happen where you are not able to keep up those kind of appearances, because then what they appreciated you for, which might not have been you, not actually having appreciation for you, but what you could do for them, then you have to, you kind of have to, like, you got to be real. You know, that conversation rules the nation. You got to be authentic. And I think that's what a lot of people lack is authenticity. So they try to use monetary stuff. They try to use, you know, material stuff to try to fucking, to try to make up for that. You know what I'm saying? And I think you just kind of have to, you gotta have to get over that. And you just, if you're authentic, I think you get much more respect and you get much more play that way, because they'll know who they're really dealing with. And if you come across, you know, in the right manner, then hey, yeah, parents do that to kids too. And I think it's a bad deal, because then the kids don't really appreciate the parents. They expect them to just be an ATM, you know. And I'm like, with that shit, look, we can go have a memorable event, but as far as buying you something materialistic that you're going to break anyway, or that you're going, you know, throw away and want the next thing anyway, I'm not with that. I'm gonna say, you know, we're gonna do something where we all enjoy it, where we remember this occasion as a group. So it's not just you benefiting from something and thinking that it's about you being put on a pedestal as a child or anything like that. It's like, hey, I enjoyed this outing with my family, or I enjoyed this outing with whomever, whatever it may be. You know what I'm saying? So that way, I think everything that you do, especially with children, especially with other people, even if they don't realize it, it sets, I direction in their thinking of how they look at you, and not even just maybe you, but how they'll tend to treat other people. You know what I'm saying? So I think you just got to be real cautious with everything that you do. You have to be calculated in every move that you make, because a lot of people, they put themselves on autopilot and they think that it's, you know, hey, it is what it is. Oh, it's not that big of a deal. I'm just doing it one time. It's not that big of a deal. You know, hey, those little times add up into a big deal. You know, that one time a month that you make that mistake and you make up for it in a less than fulfilling way. Okay, that's 12 times a year. That's a big deal, you know. Once a month, they know if, okay, something like this happens, then I'm a benefit from it in a particular kind of way. Then they start to expect that from you as that adds up over the years, you know. I think that's why I say you just have to find ways. Like I said, if it's something you miss, find a way to have another outing or another event or some way that you can share that time. Because the same way that I'm dead serious about time, like I say, you know, in the ends of a lot of the sauces, hey, you know, time is the one asset that you can never recoup. If somebody's willing to give you their time, that means that they truly appreciate you, because there's no way that, well, shit, let me go buy some more time over here and make up for it. There's no doing that. Look, you can go buy somebody, give them roses. You can go buy more roses. You can buy them a car wreck. You can buy another car. You know, a lot of these things can always be replaced. But when you say, hey, you know what? Let's take some time out and let's go do something. You know, now there's nothing wrong with buying certain things. Hey, I want you to know that I appreciate you. And hey, when you wear this, I want you to remember me for this. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think, you know, time here and there, you be cautious with how much you do that. If you use that to define every instant that you are thinking of somebody, every time you come home, you got gifts for whoever, maybe your significant other or for a child or shit, even for the dog. The dog only gonna want food from you. Scotty's a piece of shit. You have to be cautious of how you handle that type of stuff. What you must do is take that time, and people will learn to appreciate the time that they spend with you. They'll learn to appreciate you, but they'll also receive that benefit out of it. They'll knowing that, hey, you know what? This person sincerely cares about me. This person really has my best interest or whatever it may be in their heart. That's just kind of how I feel about it. You know, I think a lot of people do try to use materialistic stuff to replace themselves, to be some type of surrogate to their own existence. So there's that. Oh yes, Heidi, trust me. I take all my anger with white people out on Scotty, and he's the only white thing in this house. So I say, Scotty, you are a white dog. When the white man oppresses me, I oppress Scotty. So I don't know about that oppression shit. So Scotty don't get oppressed. Scotty get to sit and get fat. Y'all know I'm believing that nonsense. Scotty gets oppressed when he eats my goddamn breakfast. That's the only time Scotty get oppressed. He literally gets ass pressed, because I pressed this motherfucking palm against that ass when he fucking eats my fucking food. Fuck that shit. Y'all know I don't believe in that nonsense. I talk about shit, but as far as that, that's a no for me. But y'all know I don't buy that nonsense. Oh man, Scotty might be a spy. That's why y'all always look at it. If y'all seen the way Scotty moves, Scotty could definitely be a spy. Scotty, if you put one of them fucking furry chips in, when remember Furby, what is it, Furbies, whatever they first came out, it was Furbies, because if it was furries, it'd be a whole nother conversation. When Furbies first came out, and everybody thought that they were like Russian spy toys or some shit. Scotty might be a spy dog, because Scotty, the way he moves is just unlike any other dog. He's just real low key, but he moves like a fucking an inanimate horror object from the movies. Like, you know, it's like one of them scary dolls from the movies. Like the doll will be sitting in the seat, you turn your back, and the next time somehow the doll is on the floor, and then you looking at it and you turn your back again. Next thing you know, the doll is like right there up on you. But instead of leaving, or people go pick the doll up and put it back. But that's how Scotty moves. Like if you in the food, if you're making food in the kitchen, like Scotty could be in the living room, all right, and you know, you got like a little bar in the kitchen, you overlook the bar. Scotty could be on the couch, or he could be like in a little corner, because you know he like little den like objects, and he'll move a couple of feet. You turn your back, and you turn back and look at him, he's a couple of feet closer, and he's laying down. So it's not like you'll never see him in the act of actually moving. He's always laying down. When you turn around to see him, he's laid down. So it's like, what the fuck is really going on? You know what I'm saying? You never catch him walking. You know what I'm saying? And so you do something else, you turn back around, he a little bit closer. You turn around again, and then you look, he's right outside the little doorway of the kitchen, just laying there. It's like, how the hell, within, less than a minute or two, you'd have got from the opposite side of the house or the opposite side of the living room, and now you just in the motherfucking doorway of the kitchen. And then he gets up, he'll start fucking wandering around the kitchen if he think he saw something fail because he's fucking greedy. Like, he can't resist thinking some fucking food fell. But outside of that, this guy's a piece of shit. There's that. But yeah, man, you definitely you can't use materialistic stuff to prove it. And that's why I think that kind of goes hand in hand with going Dutch. When you show that, you're both willing to go back and forth, I think that shows that your opinion of materialistic things, it's not as attached to your character, because hey, if I'm willing to come off something and you're willing to come off something, I think that's a good sign for both parties involved. So I think that's that. No, I would never do that. Check his nose for a spy cam. I don't know. Scotty got a little rusty ass nose. He fucking, tell it what that nose and sniffed. So Scotty had been in some strange locations. I can't trust him. He be trying to get too close, lick my face. Hold on, Phil. He lick me in the face, but he ain't gonna do none of that shit. But Scotty's a good dog. Outside of the weird little stuff, Scotty's actually a pretty good dog. He don't ever bark, so that's cool. Like, that's the best thing about it. You don't ever hear him. He's like a fucking ninja. He never makes any fucking noise, so that's cool. But the thing is, Scotty gets excited if the dog is Scotty's size or smaller, or slightly larger. There's like a slightly larger. Maybe if it's 10 to 15% larger, he'll fool with it. Anything bigger than that, except for one time he did try to hump a pit bull. I thought he was pretty bold for that. That's why them damn nuts had to come off. But anything smaller than that, he gets excited. He'll kind of go check it out. But anything too big, Scotty ain't gonna fool with it. He ain't gonna fool with the big old dogs. He gonna call it a wrap with those.
See how it's going right there?
The dogs give themselves a ren job and want to kiss you very much like Salvador. I might need to see a Salvadorian girl, see what they really. This sounds very talented. I just want to see the first part. I don't want the kiss. They can keep that to themselves. I just want to fucking. I just want to see if that's possible. Just like that is. You're a very talented young lady. Now get the fuck out of here and go get some scope, because that's disgusting. Like, Heidi, I don't want any more of your advice videos. I'm telling you, like, y'all, you don't understand how nervous I was after that. Not even nervous. Like, I was just like, man, where is this going? After I saw the donkey video, and the next thing up was camel. It was just titled "Camels of Saudi Arabia." I'm like, this is gonna be real bad. This is gonna get real bad, real fast, and my life is going down the rabbit hole, and it's not gonna be good. Like, it's gonna be over with for me. But fortunately, the Camels of Saudi Arabia video was real cool. There are $1 million camels out there. $1 million camel. I couldn't imagine it. Like, they were talking about how the little king of the new king of Saudi Arabia is real cool and shit. And so, like, they had these big camels. Oh, that's what I want to talk about. Fucking camel racing is way cooler than fucking horse racing. By far, it's not even close. Like, they don't have real jockeys that ride the fucking camels. They have these little robo jockeys that they make from drills. And so, there's like a remote that they have, and what it does is, it fucking has a crop attached to it. And you know how the drills that spin, so the crop will whip the shit out the camel. But with horse racing, it's like 1.5 kilometers. I think is like the longest horse race here in America. But the fucking Saudi Arabians, it's an 8-kilometer fucking race. There's no jockeys on the fucking camels. What they do is they drive their vehicles on the outside of the track. So it's like a camel race / almost demolition derby, because you driving like ain't no traffic rules, ain't no nothing. So you're trying not to run into the other motherfuckers while you yelling out the window at your camel and pushing this remote control camel whipper and whipping the shit out your camel so it'll run faster. It's pretty fucking interesting. It's pretty fucking interesting. But it was just like, I just thought that shit was gangster shit, because these motherfuckers about to run at each other. They honking their horns at each other. They got like a whole little crew inside their cars while they yelling at these damn camels and shit and pushing the little. I thought it was hilarious though. But I mean, I guess it's worth it because I think they were saying like it's like $1 million prize for whatever camel wins. It's like they have like a whole camel month, like camel celebration month, and the king. That's a bet, Dr. Rabbit. Appreciate you following through. And it's like a big deal. And then, like I say, they had a competition they fucking put Botox in the camels, like because they have a competition called for most beautiful camel, and so they rate their camels the same way that. And speaking of Scotty, look, here go this motherfucker right here. He almost got kicked, brushing up against my leg. They rate their camels the same way that we rate strippers in hood strip clubs, by the lips, the fucking like the humps and all kind of shit. But they put Botox in their face, all kind of shit. Like it's crazy, crazy shit. But like I say, they say like the Botox and all that shit is illegal. Because they're supposed to be natural, and so that these camels, they have people like the dudes. They say they judge like 1,300 camels a day because it's so many, and they have to check and make sure that they, people ain't injecting them and doing all that other stuff. But basically, it's like whoever comes with the best pack of camels, not like a pack of cigarettes, but they basically have a herd of camels and they bring them out, and they let them, you know what I'm saying? They let them trot around, and they determine who has the best camels, and then the king will call up whoever and fucking and call them and say that, Roscoe, what's the motherfucking deal, man? Good to see you. Camel Crush Kush did. That's bad business. I remember I tried one of them Camel Crushes one time. That was a bad choice. I was working man, it's on you can catch it on YouTube. It just fucking Camels of Saudi Arabia. It'll pop up. But I mean, the shit was actually really interesting. I was surprised I actually watched all that shit. I was really watching it to see if she was gonna find some kind of undercover camel loving. I mean, that's where I thought it was going. So I watched like the first 10 minutes, like, oh, this is finna get bad. It's finna get real bad real fast. But then it turned out to be actually a legit little documentary. So it was cool. It was real cool. Man.
Oh man. I was going to have me rolling. I saw your comments. I'm going to say straight up, just for you. I saw all your comments. I know you want me to mention you. You want me to read the comments. I got you. Straight up. I didn't want to end up because you were cracking me up here. But I did not forget you. Straight up, I gave you power.
All right.
On you. Alright, so now I was like, you cracking me up with that one, man.
Man, I'm telling you, it was just some wild stuff. I thought that shit was very intriguing. Like, it's very interesting to see how other cultures how they do their thing. Oh snap. Okay. I'm gonna comment on that real quick, Ed, man. Then we're gonna wrap it up here shortly because I gotta go. I gotta catch something before it closes. I didn't realize how late it was. I must have been one of them days after I watched that Avengers. That shit was actually pretty dope. I'm waiting on the next part. I was glad Thanos won, but I didn't catch the fight. I heard about the fight. I heard that it was supposedly a draw between KSI and the Paul kid. And but they're gonna do that just to make more money. Them dudes made at least they made like $8 million on. Well, at least YouTube might have made $8 million because it was like $10 for like YouTube pay-per-view or something like that. No Taco Bell, actually decent healthy stuff. But Sauce will be back in action tomorrow. I was just, like I said, I had an appointment today and I had it at the wrong time. I didn't realize it was an early game today when I made the appointment, and as I thought it'd be at 7, so my timing was off. So we'll be Sauce. We'll be back in action with Sauce tomorrow. We'll talk about kind of a recap. I actually get a chance to watch the game and see because I didn't really get to see it. I just saw that Braxton Miller play where Braxton fucked that route up. Like I seen that when I first. I'm like, Braxton ran the wrong fucking route. Now he made the play, but if he would have, I think it would have been bad business if he would have missed the fucking. He would have dropped that hoe. Like the only catching that hope saved him. Because if you look at Sammy Coates, he was just kind of like, okay. You can see Brandon Whedon almost thought he fucked it up or something. So it was wild. But with the fight, like I say, they're just gonna make more money with that because they had 800,000 people on YouTube actually watching it. Some people were restreaming that shit on Twitch. Like they said, over 400,000 people were watching that shit on Twitch illegally. But it's like I say, so that means you had several million people watching that fight against some YouTubers. I'm telling you that YouTube, they're going to have to start respecting them dudes as mainstream stars eventually because of their draw, the power they have, excuse me, to capture attention. They have just as much leverage as any of these regular movie stars, or they got a better draw than people who've been boxing for their whole careers. You know what I'm saying? Like, these motherfuckers made that venue a decent amount of money, because I think the venue they had this time had like 50, 60,000 people, and at whatever price they were charging. So they made several $1 million off this fight, and they only fought, what, 6 rounds, didn't get all busted up. So it's going to be very interesting. But
Yeah,
you got a
saw
chance
that
to...
they was in the headgear stuff. I saw that, and I gave you power. Let me help you out. Astro World, my planet, my home. I said it for you. So I see you. I see you. I gave you power. I got you. But yeah, I saw that though. I didn't know those were YouTubers though. I saw the fight.
Yeah, definitely.
But,
yeah, the big time YouTuber, one from Britain or something, and I don't know whatchamacallit, one of them Paul brothers, both of the brothers. I think they were all brothers who fought the undercard and the main event.
Okay.
Man.
Yeah, I know that part. But yeah, I did see that. I was watching. I was like, oh, this looked like an amateur fight because I saw all the headgear and stuff. I didn't know they were YouTube stuff. Oh, okay then. Okay, but yeah, you cracked me up today, there, Honcho, with the camp. I hope that it meant my donkeys in the camps and all that, man. You got, I don't want you laying on the couch, you know, expressing your feelings and stuff now. I want you to go be no therapist now. I know how to do it.
Man, I'm telling you, that donkey situation, definitely, I was just like, man, this is really going on in the world. This is a sad place. But man, but I'm saying, you got
that's why you see her right there, Donkey Donuts. Come on now.
Yeah, I want nothing to do with that. I want nothing to do with that. They don't nuts the donkey. I mean, that's crazy stuff, man. I don't even want to think about that right now. But you got anything you want to say to the people before we get up out of here, Mr. Man Up?
Oh man, I tell you, man, this has been fun, man. This was a good one, man. I appreciate it, man. And I'm gonna give you another solid, man. Y'all go and get you one. I can get me one. You can get you one. Come on, get you one now.
Yeah, get you.
Oh, you can do it.
Exactly. That mug right there is gonna be a limited edition. We're gonna probably stop that one at the end of the month, and then we'll offer another one. The newer mugs probably won't have the best talk show in Houston on them. So make sure you get you one of those mugs, man. Sauce at 7 tomorrow. Everything will be back at the regular time, like it's supposed to be. We'll get everything back in order as it should be, and we're gonna make it shake. Like I said, I gotta go run, take care of something real quick, but hopefully that should get done before 1 o'clock. I'm a little tired, but I might give y'all some mixer action. It's the weekend. I tell y'all, I try to give y'all some mixers on the weekend, because I ain't gonna really be doing them as much during the week, except for when that DLC comes out for Far Cry 5 on the 28th. So we'll see about that. But I'll probably give y'all some mixer action later on, and we'll see what's up. But Mr. Man Up, man, I appreciate it as always. A great conversation. Definitely have to consider, who you're dealing with when you're going Dutch, man. If it's an issue, if whoever you are, if you're a lady and you're dealing with a dude, or and it's something too you got to consider. One last little point is, even if you're a lady and you try to pay and the guy just really is vehemently against it, again, like Heidi mentioned earlier, it could be a sign of that he's either trying to get some sex about it. He may feel like he's trying to own you or something. So like they say in Domino's, all money ain't good money. You know what I'm saying? And not saying that it's going to you directly, but the intention that goes with it is something you have to consider. But with that being said, look, my floss, y'all don't want me to do the floss. Look, Heidi probably got a much colder floss than me. So if y'all ain't seen Heidi's floss video, make sure y'all check it out. And rate it 1 to 10 up under the in her comment section. But with that being said, man, I appreciate each and every one of y'all for tuning in. Like I said, we're going to get the whole everything back on track. Mr. Man Up, I appreciate you. Like I said, another good one. We're going to do it again soon. And with that being said, man, my friends in the den, y'all ain't got to go home, but y'all should be at home already, because if y'all ass watching this shit at the club, you're definitely having a bad time. But y'all guys to get the hell up out of here. But y'all more than welcome to catch the mixer in a little bit. And I don't know if I said with that being said, but I probably did. I'll be saying all kind of shit. But we're going to get up out of here, man. And we out.
Peace.
sounds crazy.